Let's hello you lovelies. Let's talk about the Skeleton Crew episode 3, which I think is a great progression of this series. I actually think each episode is better than the last. This one seems to combine elements of the first and the second and shapes where I think the show is going. But before we get into it, if you're new to this page, hit that subscription bell. We are rapidly approaching 40K. I love genre content. I love comic books. I love movies. I love TV. Every week I read about 70 comics and I break down the 9 I think you'll like most, as well as the comic book news. And I review the biggest movies every weekend, as well as the biggest shows like this one. So hit that subscription bell if you want to join any of that. Also, like this video so I know you like this video. And most of all, leave a comment below. Not only does it help the algorithm, but I love having conversations about this stuff. That is the whole point, and the magic of the internet, the magic of YouTube, is to talk about this glory we all love. Let's talk about it. So follow me, like this, comment, Star Wars, let's talk Skeleton Crew, episode 3. Now, this to me is what I wanted the show to be. This is that sense of fun. This is definitely the show where it's getting a new generation into Star Wars, but using their parents and, I don't know, maybe grandparents' lore and mythology. It feels like, and I'm wondering if this is how it's going to end. I doubt they'd let the IP go this far, but it feels like someone reading their kid a bedtime story, a la The Princess Bride or Hook. It honestly feels like the Jude Law character is going to be someone's dad, and he's trying to identify with his kids. To me, it's very grandiose and fantastical, and all of the parents seem fairly inept, and all of the adults can't keep up with the kids. It feels much like a storybook from the 80s. But in our continuity, like, that's the story element I'd love to see it do, but again, I doubt they'll do that with an IP as big as Star Wars. But that's the narrative in show. In our reality, it feels like a great way to get a new generation into Star Wars. In the business sense, getting Gen Z and whatever the next one is, Gen Alpha, whatever the kids are today, whatever that generation is, getting them into Star Wars, because if you think about it, Star Wars is like 40 years old. Like, it's been going a long time. It is an older franchise. So this is a great way to have it be identifiable for a new generation and tie it into the old mythology by making a show about just that. It's a bunch of kids that are on an isolated world in the world of Star Wars. That's a great way to bring people isolated from it into the greater world of Star Wars, and this episode felt like that. The first episode, I liked, didn't love. It felt like it was fairly exposition heavy. Some of the acting didn't work for me. It just didn't grab me as much. It was like a B minus. Like, it wasn't bad. It just didn't grab me as much as the second episode. The second episode, all the pirate elements, it felt very much like, a theme park ride at Disneyland. It felt very, young Pirates of the Caribbean meets Goonies. Very piratey, very fun. And then this third episode combines that. It's the exposition and the plot moving forward, all the Star Wars canon fun, all of those inventive ideas, and the pirate stuff. And it felt like it moved the plot forward, especially with Jude Law's character. I think it's really smart to use the charm of Jude Law, to use the one capable, interesting man amongst these kids, these silly archetypes, to bring the plot forward. The one leading man, you cast a Jude Law in this role, so you've got someone to anchor onto for the adults, for the people that are the older generation. I'm sure kids watching this can completely identify with each of the kids, or with their one kid. Like, when you watch movies as a kid, you're always like, oh, I'm blank, or like, oh, I'm definitely that one. Like, I'm Tommy Pickles, or I'm Chucky, or I'm Phil and Lil. Like, you've got your connecting eye line. I didn't have that in the first 2 episodes, and now with Jude Law, I like that for adults where, like, who's this interesting Jedi guy? But it's from the perspective of the kids. All of the duplicitousness, that great speech about being lost like they are, it's all from that lens, and it gives us just enough of okay, there's someone that I recognize both in movies and in the story as me. And so I think Jude Law, as his movie star charm, carrying this forward really helps balance the show out, because the kids can be a bit much. A lot of the supporting cast, I don't connect to any of them. The acting is very big. All of the parents in that little, PTA conference, if we lost our kids, were like, bah! Like the Darth Vader no. But I think he has enough of that. I'm clearly the pirate from the opening, but it's for us to know, and you kids to find out, fun mischief of the story element that keeps us entertained and keeps us as the adults, or I don't know how old you are watching this, but the adults going like, oh, this is a fun little mystery for the kids. And I really like that there's an actual mystery. We all assume he's the pirate from the opening, but the mystery in universe of their home planet and how it's, kept from everything. We're getting little morsels of how it's protected, and is it this legendary planet? And I love the owl character in general, really cool character design, really fun work, but also her being like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, with the X-Wing fighters. They're another great example of like, they wrote it so it works that they wouldn't, be able to shoot at the kids because they weren't shooting that accurately because the kids were on board, you couldn't risk it. I love stuff like that if it does turn out to be like the Hook thing. But it really works narratively to blend all of this Star Wars mythology together into this world. Again, that's a tinfoil hat theory. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but it's a really fun way to tell a story to bring in this new generation. The kids are starting to grow on me. The use of Jude Law, kind of giving them each a position on the ship according to their personality, is really fun because it shows you even more of their personality. Like, we've got a sense for them. Now it's kind of positioning them like the offensive fighter in the little girl, the having fun, just video game-esque fighter in our main dude, the girl kind of like steering the apparatus, the elephant kid like panicking and like having to navigate by focusing him up, and like Jude Law giving him that job to focus him up. A lot of that really fun elements and the smarts of that, and I felt genuine tension in the chase. I genuinely felt like there was, obviously they have to survive, but there is that sense of tension and fun, plus the sound design, hearing all the Star Wars stuff. A lot of it really worked for me in episode 3. This is far and away my favorite episode. This is, to me, on par with some of the best of the latter Star Wars show stuff. To me, Andor is in another category. Andor is, to me, far and away the best Star Wars stuff. Then you've got early season Mandalorian. It fell off for me down by the end. I think this is better than late Mandalorian. I think this is better than Boba Fett. I like this enough to put it with the early Mando, with not with Andor, nothing's Andor, but with some of the best of Obi-Wan. Like, this is in that upper half Star Wars show. Now, with this episode, I believe there are 7 or 8 episodes. This goes well into the new year. I'm really curious if it can keep this up because it's so fun and so Amblin and so 80s and so great generationally. I don't have kids, but when I have them, I look forward to watching stuff like this and this with them. I hope it can keep this going. I hope the mystery continues to sprinkle in. I hope the sense of fun and like what's happening with him continues to go. I love the like he doesn't actually say he's a Jedi, but very strongly alludes to it. That's really fun kid stuff to be like, oh, he didn't actually say it. Like I'm digging the joy, man. So I'm hoping that it sticks the landing as we go forward. That said, I do want to say this is episode 3. Episode 4 will be on the 17th, which means episodes 5 and 6 are on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, respectively, the 24th and the 31st. If I don't get any screeners or what have you, I will not be reviewing them on time because I'm not going to work on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So I will be back and do them in January at some point. I'll catch up. These videos make like $12. I just don't want to spend, my holidays. So I will come back. I promise you, I'm very dedicated to growing this page. Like I said, we're approaching 40K, but I need a holiday. I work like 7 jobs. I want to not be on my screen for a little bit. So on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, I will not be reporting on this show. Hopefully I can get a screener and I'll get them out on those days. I'll preset and have them upload. But just in case, I want to let you guys know with plenty of time that I will be taking a little break. That said, I will be uploading the videos that I do have screeners for. So there will be stuff going up during that week. So stay tuned for all that. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of episode 3 of Skeleton Crew. Are you enjoying it more and more each week as I am? Episode 1 and 2 paired was smart because I do think 2 is a lot stronger of an episode for me. So I got to connect. And now with episode 3, I'm like, okay, I'm in a lot faster than I am with some shows. So this was definitely a delight. Let me know what you thought below. And again, leave a like in this video so it helps the algorithm. And so I know you liked this video. And if you haven't subscribed, boop, I am putting out videos every single day in December, except for maybe if I don't get screeners of this. But we've got favorite music of the year, favorite shows of the year, favorite 24 movies of 2024 in 2 parts is going to be coming up. We've got Creature Commandos later on this week, episode 3 of Creature Commandos. We've got This Week in Comics, which is probably going to be live tomorrow, talking about the Chris Evans news, as well as the Sony Universe news, as well as my favorite comics of the week, and on Sunday, Dune Prophecy. We've got so much stuff, literally a video a day, and if I get screeners of this, a video every single day this month. So please hit that subscription bell, join me on this journey. Much love. I hope you're enjoying this adventure in a galaxy far, far away. I certainly am. Excited to see more unfold. This episode was my jam. Hope it was yours too. I'll see you guys soon. Much love.